on, we turn it to the right, I guess. Right? Yeah. And then just make sure this is pointing at 75. And whenever this goes lower than 500, tell Mr. Pritchett. Software we're using is the Vision Cats. Double click and open it. Usually you go to whatever folder you are using. So I have a folder and I already have a method. But I will create a new method. This is for the training. So you click new and a new method. I'm gonna name it training. So right here we can choose the order of the process, how we want to do it. So we will always do a visualizer first. You just need to click it, you don't need to drag it down here. So this visualizer can take pictures of the clean plate, and then when you are taking the pictures after you derivatized the plate, it will automatically subtract the clean plate, the background. So after this, we're gonna apply the samples to the plate, which is this one, and then we are developing using a chamber. We have this instrument, but this one is not connected to the computer, so we have to use this one. And then I use this to take pictures again, and then use the scanner 3, which is the one we have, and then to scan it. And then I have a derivatization step. So, and I'm using a dip. If later on we have a spray or we have a derivatizer, you can choose the instrument that we have, but we have this one for now. And then I will take picture again. So my total steps are those ones, but you can adjust it. You can add more or you can delete those. It's totally based on your own experimental process. So after that, we can finish step definition, and then this will give us some information about each step. So here we have the plate information. Today I'm using a 10 by 10 plate. So hold on, let me close this. Ooh. So right here, if you see the cross, so you can click on the cross, and then you can go in and you can play with the parameters. So right here you can choose what kind of stationary phase or what kind of plate you're using. They have a bunch of selections for you. And the plate format by default is 20 by 10, which is the rectangular one, but I'm using a 10 by 10 today, so it's gonna be a square. I'm applying my sample as bands, so you can see the tiny gray little area down there. You can also choose them to spot as to apply as spots, so it's like really tiny right here. You can see those gray spots, but I'm using bands today. It all depends on your own method. And then sub and from position, I usually stick with 70, so I'm not changing anything other than the plate format. Okay, so we can do 7 links on this plate if I choose to apply my sample as bands. So basically that's the setup, and we can execute the method. So it will start, and then it will always pop up as a new analysis. So you need to name your analysis. I'm gonna name it as training. So if it has the same name as the method, it's gonna show red, so you know this name is not working. Training video. 7. So now we're in the analysis phase. And then on the lower portion, it will always tell you what to do. So you can basically just follow the instructions right here, and then it will tell you. So first we need to prepare a preparation of visualizer includes blah blah blah. So we're gonna take our plate like it showed on here. We need to put the plate in the visualizer, which is this instrument right here. Okay, so this is the plate I'm gonna use, and then I will always mark the plate on the top right corner. So I wrote video on there. And then to open this instrument, you can either move this up or right here, but this is a little hard, so this way is much easier. And then the computer software shows you that you have to push it to the left corner in the instrument. But when I take pictures of a 10 by 10, if you push it to the left corner, it only takes picture on the right half of the plate. So you need to put this plate in the middle of this white, somewhere like this. And then once you put it in, close it, and click continue. Start taking pictures, and then once the pictures come out, you can see if your position is alright. So once you are okay with the pictures that it has taken, click accept all, and then you will move to the next step. So right here we're moving to the application. So application you need to tell the instrument what sample you're applying. So right here on the left, we can adjust the sequence information. So just click anywhere on the sequence information, this window will pop up, and then you can type in the information of your drugs. So I have put my vial ID and the description in the column. You just need to type it in. And then the volume, the minimum I would say will be 2 microliters. And then when you have the vial ID in, and then when you click on the position, this rack will pop up, and then you can choose where you have put your sample in. So I have methanol blank at this position, so I just choose it. So it knows it's at A1 position. And then so just choose where your samples are. So after everything is done, just check if your vial is a sample or a reference. Usually I will do sample. If you're doing quant or any kind of quantitative analysis, you would have a reference or multiple reference. SST, it depends on how strict your method is. You can check it, or but usually I don't. This will be depends on your method. And then after you make sure everything is good, click OK. Okay, so now this is the sequence is set up, and then we can also look at this area on the screen. So it tells you that the vials needs to put into those positions, and then the position field rack this everything is ready basically. Then we have to put the plate into the instrument. So we take the plate out from here. Sometimes it's hard to get, so I usually just squeeze it, slide it, and then move it to here. So when we put the plate on the metal part right here, we need to make sure the sample is spotting on the bottom side of your plate. So your mark is at right hand corner. So you need to turn it 90 degrees. So make sure the mark is towards this angle. I mean this corner, and then put it in. So slide it all the way to the all the way in and all the way to the left. And then move this up, and then there is a lever. Oh, sorry. There is a lever on the right. And then you can pull it up so it will fix the plate. And then I already have the vials in position, so we're ready to go. But before every run, just make sure there are two big bottles in the back. Left side is a waste bottle, and then on the right side is a methanol bottle. Just make sure methanol is full and waste is not. Make sure you cannot see any solution above this surface, this line. So right now we're good, and methanol still has around 200 milliliters, so we're good. So the instrument is ready, and then we may want to adjust some parameters on the instrument. So click on the little cross right here. So there are some adjustments that we can do. Usually for filling and rinsing quality, if it's a case sample or if it's like your final or something, I would rinse it twice. So it's rinsing the syringe twice before or between each sample. But usually, but for now, I'll leave it as one. And then you can choose which one you want to apply. I would choose fill only programmed volume, so this will save you a lot of the sample or the standards if you are using it for research. And then our spray gas is N2, so change that to N2. And then click OK. So that's, well, but this is only for my research. It's based on your own method. So for now, that was set. So everything is ready, so we can click continue to let it apply. So now that application is done, and then we click OK right here, so it will tell us that we are moving to the next step. So right here we can fill in some more information by clicking at this cross right here. Our mobile phase, we are using chloroform today. No, not methanol and water. And then those are, this will be 25 usually, because on the instrument it says 25. So I will usually do a 35 milliliters of total mobile phase and then split them into two. And then everything else will be the same, just keep them as the default. Just change this to 25 and then type in your mobile phase and then click OK. So now you can see here the information changed. So fill chloroform 10 milliliter into the front and then 25 milliliter into the rear. Okay, so now after we have done this, we will click continue. So we are moving the plate into the tank right now. So to take the plate out, you lower the lever on the right side and then push this down. So now you can remove it. It's kind of hard, but try to not touch the surface of the plate. The instrument was already on. So to put the plate in the instrument, you pinch this I don't know, handle, I guess, and then lower it. There is a metal part right here. It's magnetic. So you just take this out and then flip it so the layer where it is on top, and then your plate is facing up. So you just clip this plate on there. Just make sure you push the plate all the way in, and then put this back into the chamber right here. So it's automatic. You don't need to like actually put it in any position. It will directly get into it. And then just make sure the glass side is facing you outward, and then close it. And then the chamber is right here. So we would usually put the chamber in and make sure to push it all the way in. And then here is a lever. Just put it down so it seals the chamber. So I have already made. I had 25 milliliters of the chloroform in the right side already, and then if you forget the volume, it says right here, so 25 and 10, so you need to make 35 milliliters total. So 25 is already in there, so I'm pouring the 10 in here. And then to run the instrument, you click run, and then you can choose what method you're using. We're gonna use method 2. And then so the arrow keys can switch between different methods. And then method 1 is the longest. Method 2 is a little shorter, just for the sake of time today. So we're showing you the shorter method. If you want to check the parameter of the method, once you are, if you want to check the method 1 parameters, so go to method 1 and then click dialog. And then it says globes, and then it has the arrow blinking right here. So go down, and then it says parameters, and then you click enter. And then it will tell you what the parameter of the method is. So we have pre-drying, yes or no. So yes, click enter. Control humidity 10 minutes, and you can change the time right here. So 10 minutes, enter. Saturation time 20 minutes, enter. Plate precondition time, and this by default we just choose 0, so enter. Migration distance is 70 millimeters, so that's already set. Enter. So this is their and drying time is 5 minutes, so enter. And then it asks you if you want to save the method. You can save it as number 1, and so number 1 is the default method, so enter. So now number 1 is a long method. So we're using number 2 today. I'm just number 2 is short. So once you have select the method that you want to use, choose enter, and then it will ask you if the solvent is ready, and then you can just say yes, it's ready, then enter. Then it will start. This is done. You can see that it says clean the glass chamber. But we're not gonna clean it right now. We're gonna take the plate out. So the same process as you put it in. Just make sure you don't touch the surface of the plate. And now we're transferring the plate into the visualizer. Okay. Try to put it as the same position that you put in the first time. Probably here somewhere. And then move on to the computer. So now development progress is already done. If you have any note, you can type in here, and then it will be in the final report. So now we're clicking OK, and then the next step is the visualizer, and then we already put the plate in, so we can just click continue, and then it will take pictures. So while you're taking pictures, or if whenever you just want to look at your plate, you can put the plate in and then press what kind of lighting condition you want, and then you can close the lid, open this, and look through here. And then after the pictures have been taken, we are clicking accept all. Continue. Okay, click continue. And now we're moving the plate into the scanner. To put the plate into the scanner, you just need to slide down this door, and then there is a metal rack inside of the scanner. So put the plate all the way to the left and all the way to the inward. And then after it's in position, those magnetic bars, you can put them on the side to make sure the plate is not moving. And then close it. For a scanner, you can choose some of the parameters that if you are altering anything. I'm not doing anything specific right now, so I will leave it as 254. If you know what wavelength your sample should use, you can change this. And then the range of this laser or of this scanner is from 200 to 800, so anywhere between those you can choose. And then there are a lot of other things that you can play with, but for just basic use, I will leave it as default unless you know what wavelength you're using. So I'm gonna choose continue, and it will start to scan. So after the scanning step is finished, we can click accept all, and then we're moving to the derivatizing step. So right here we can click on the plus and then type in the reagent name, and then dipping speed and dipping time I would do 5 seconds. Dipping speed usually 3. It's a moderate speed. And then reagent preparation, you can type in how did you prep the reagent. And then you can either choose if you're heating the plate or not after the derivatizing step. For today's training, I will choose I am using the heater. And then I am using the plate heater. The heating temperature I will set to 70 and maybe 0.5 minutes. And then after everything looks good, click OK. And now we're moving to the derivatizing step. So I have already made the derivatizing reagent. This is around 150 milliliters. And this is what we will be using today. So just pour it into the chamber. And this chamber can hold up to 200 milliliters, but if you actually make it full and then when you drop your plate, it will, the solution will come up. So what I found is 150 is enough for the plate. And we can take this off, so we will be able to clamp your plate onto here. So we have the plate and we have the clamp. It was on the instrument like this, so just directly grab it and then pinch it so the top layer goes down. You put the plate in all the way in and then release it. so it clamps the plate on there. And then because this is broken, the wire is not working, so I'm manually dipping it and then count to 5 and then pull it up. And just remember to go down slowly. You can either put it on here and then let it dry, air dry, or you can take paper towel and then wipe the back of the glass. So what I will do is I will put it on the paper towel and then release the clamp and then move this to the plate heater. Plate heater was already set. The temperature was already set to be 69 or 70, and then just make sure you wipe the back side of the plate, make sure it's dry, and then you can put it on there. Now the plate is dried, and then whenever you think it's okay, then we can remove it from the heater and then put it back to the visualizer to take pictures again. Okay, putting it back. I try to put it back to the same position. So usually what I do is I was trying to put it halfway through this white bar. If it's in the middle, usually the whole plate will be in the range. Here, continue. Oh, we should have clicked continue before. So this step is already done. And then okay. So now visualizing it again. So continue, and then you will take pictures. Once the pictures were taken, just make sure you're okay with the pictures, and then you can click accept all. And then this window pops up. You click continue. And then the process is done. So those are the instructions. You can check if you're okay with them, and then if you have forgotten to check any of those. And then usually they're fine. So just continue. So now we are at so the picture right here is the pictures that we want to use. If you only want the picture, you can add a RF tool on the left right here. Oops, sorry. And if you click it, this line will pop up. So this dotted line on the bottom will be the baseline, and then this will be the 70mm stub in front. And then you can also label vial ID or description. Maybe vial ID will be good enough for mine, and then you can also label the sequence number on the bottom. And then if you think this picture is too dark or too bright, you can change the white balance using this button, and then just click somewhere, and then you can change the white balance so you can see the color better. But it totally depends on you. And I'm gonna reset this, so I'm gonna use the original color. So once you are okay with this, if you want to export this image, you can export right here, and then it's asking you if you want to export everything, so including all the labels and then all the sequence, or only the plate, just the original image, or a specific area of image, or something else. So you can just choose each one, and then it will be saved as a JPEG. Just showing you can do that. And then so usually after I altered this part, I will generate profile at here. So it's generating a profile. So after this, I will click the plus sign right here to add a evaluation. So right here you can add what samples have you applied. And then if you know there are F values from the literature, you can already put them in, but it doesn't really matter if you didn't. So after this portion is done, we can move into the second part, integration, right here on the left, right here. So just click on that, and then you can see this. So we want to see the white picture, not the 366. So we're gonna uncheck this one. And then I usually change the easy mode into expert and do a profile subtraction, because I know, and then this is due wavelength, so you need to change it to track. And then because we know that our track 1 is a methanol blank, so I'm subtracting track 1 from all of my other tracks. So and then this may be a little hard to view, so you can choose profile, and then there are a bunch of things you can play with. I usually use profile because it's more straightforward for me, but you can do a 3D view and play with it. Okay, so now the x-axis will be your RF value, and then your y-axis will be the signal. So right now this is done, and then if you click the triangle right here, this little triangle right here, it will show that all six tracks were showing on this screen. You can just click on each one of them to see them individually, and if you click on the white right here, the top one, then you will see them overlay on each other. And you can see if you want to close one or turn on or turn off a specific track. So that's integration. And then after that, we're moving to the substance assignment. So click that. So because I know what I have, so I will just directly drag my this thing here. So CBN will be the fourth lane right here. So I'm moving it up to the fourth lane right here. And then see it included track 2 and track 6 in there as well. So you can manually select picks. So click this one and unselect those 2 picks. So the software knows those 2 picks are not CBN. After that, check this to turn off the manually select pick. And then CBD is the third one, so it's this one. And it's including the 6 again, so I need to uncheck this. And Delta I is at here. So Delta I is this one right here. But if you have a better system that can separate them better, you don't need to do this. Okay, so then if we go back to the integration, and if we are specifically looking at a specific track, now the name of the peak will show up on the screen. And then it will also have a peak table. It shows you that 3 peaks were found in this track. And then we have assigned peak 2, which is the highest peak, as Delta 9 THC. And then if you don't think it's Delta 9 THC, you can go down and then select what it is, because sometimes you can have overlapping RF values. Okay. So basically that's it for now, because we didn't do any quantitative analysis. So calibration and the result of calibration won't have anything. But if you do have calibration data, that will be in those two tabs. And then so now basically we're done. So we can click report on the right corner. So after we have this PDF report. It's pretty long, 17 pages, but it has all the information that you might need. So you have all the pictures, and then each peak you can see delta 9 THC right here, and then you have the star RF, max RF, and NRF, and you also have the area under the peak. And then it's the same for each lane, each track. And then we don't have anything on the calibration, so those will be blank. It's okay. Okay, and then here has a outline of the report. So once you are okay with it, you can save it. So export it as a PDF, and I'm saving it to the desktop, and then it's whatever your analysis name is. And desktop, here it is. So now this is done. So and if you don't see a star sign next to the name, that means this file is already saved, so you don't have to save it again. If you see a star right here by the name, that means you need to save it. So now we're good, so we can just close it and then exit out of the program.